All right, so to begin your Google drawing, you're going to open up your Google Drive and then go to New, More. All right, I'm going to call this Mosaic. All right, so the first thing I need to do is to find my clip art. So I'm going to go to Insert, Image, search the web, and I did an owl for my first demonstration, so I think we're going to choose a fish. So fish art. You want something relatively simple, no shading. All right, and that's perfect. All right, and the size is good, so I'm going to keep it there. So this has imported onto my workspace, but I'm actually going to be doing a lot kind of in this margin area here, which you'll see in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline my fish. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to the polyline tool. This is already has a cool color scheme, so I'm going to do mine in a warm color scheme and then do the background cool. And I'm not going to include the fins quite yet because I'll do those separately, but you could do that if you wanted to. Okay, so that's gotten filled in. And I know it's a closed form because it kind of automatically filled it in. I'm going to hit the select tool. And I'm just going to move this over to the side. And if you keep moving it over, it'll kind of expand your space for you. All right, just so I have enough space to work. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to make the tile pieces for my fish body. So I'm going to keep the polyline tool, and I'm going to kind of follow the outline that is already on my clip art. So that piece, actually, I need to make it close, sorry. It needs to be a closed shape. All right, and I'm going to fill this in with a darker,
Somebody left their jacket.
no border. So you can erase the border by going up to the pin tool and then hitting transparent. All right, and now I'm going to go back to my polyline, and I'm going to leave a little space because this will make it look more like tile. That space in between will look like grout. Pick another warm color. Get rid of my border there. I'm actually going to change this to white, the large piece in the back. There we go. But I'll change my outline at the end so I know my space that I'm working in. Pick a color. All right, and then these will be separate pieces as well. So we'll fill in the fin. So we're just going to draw that in. All right, and there's another tool I just want to point out. It might work for your animal, it might not. But if you go up to here and you do select, there's also a curve tool. So it works like the polyline, except it's going to always have a rounded edge. So I'm going to use it for the mouth piece that I'm making right now, and then you'll kind of see how it works out. So I'm going to click here, curve around. Right, so every time you use the curve tool, it's always going to be a more rounder shape. Here's my polyline for the fins. And every time you want to move something, you just have to go back to the select, and you can kind of move it into place. Now I want this fin to be in the back of this body piece. So I'm going to highlight the fin, and I'm going to go to Arrange, Order, Send to Back. And see, now it's gotten overlapped, and I'm happier with that arrangement. All right, so I'm going to add in the lines for the scales, and I'm going to use the shape tool for the eyes. So you can use the curve for the scales. Come out. Just kind of double click there, and then I like the idea of white, and I want to make them a little thicker. So I'm going to change the thickness of the line. So let me do that again. Okay. And then I can move these around. All right, and now I'm going to use the shape tool for the eye. So insert, shape. And you could still be a little smaller.
Where am I putting this? Right here.
And you can use black and white with your animal as well. That's fine. You get the warm colors, the cool colors, plus black and white. just going to make a highlight. This is when you can start to zoom in too if you need to see things. You can always. There we go. All right, I'm going to add the shapes in for the fin. Because this is kind of a repetitive shape, I'm going to do it once and then just copy and paste. And this still keeping in the warm color scheme. All right, and then I have some larger ones up here for the tail. And I think I'm going to draw those. It didn't close for some reason. Let's try it again. Okay. Okay. Now I've got to get rid of this outline, the black outline, because I don't want that. All right, so my warm color scheme fish is ready to go. So this would be the image that you want to screenshot. Which you can do for your process image. So I'm just going to use an app that I have to do that. Remember, you want this to look like a mosaic. I'm just going to save this. So the fact that I have these spaces, I'm going to make his mouth a little smaller. Right, the fact I have the spaces in between my shapes, whereas this one has, the shapes are flush up against each other. That's totally fine because I want this to look more angular than the original image. All right, so now I'm going to want to bring my entire orange fish over to my workspace, to this checkerboard area. So I'm going to take my clip art and I'm going to delete it, but I've already taken my screenshot, so that's okay. All right, and then I'm going to click on this and go edit, select all. All right, this is key. So now you can bring this whole thing over. And I'm going to arrange and group. So now this has become like one unit. It's not all separate lines and shapes anymore. It's one unit that I can move. So I'm going to take this, and you see I can move it over. Okay. All right, but before I do that, I'm going to make my background. So because my fish is warm, I'm going to make my background cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a neutral color background. So I'm going to pick like a light gray. All right, and then I'm going to draw the blue shapes over it. So you can use the polyline again, you could use the curve, but I'm just going to start to fill this in like pieces of tile in all different shades of blue because I'll doing cool blues and greens. And I don't like the outline, so I'm just getting rid of them. It's kind of like a personal preference. And I want them kind of jagged, so I'm going to keep those sharp edges. And same thing, I'm keeping a little bit of space between each shape so it looks like it is part of a mosaic. Oops. All right, I think one more is good. All right, so my background is finished. I'm gonna go to the select tool, select my whole fish, slide him over. All right, now you see what happens is that because I have the shapes and then I have my fish kind of gets hidden by the shapes, but I'm going to go to arrange, order, bring to front, and then he's all set. And you can even, elongate your shape or your animal. All right, and that is your finished work. So now you're going to download this as a image file. So you go to File, Download, PNG or JPEG, either one works. And then you have it to upload to Google Classroom and the class Jamboard. So you have your screenshot with the original image, and then I have my final image. All right, warm and cool digital mosaics.